Hey there, my name is Drew Brashler, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to use reverb on the X32. If you're brand new to my channel, I am all about helping you feel more confident in your production gear no matter where you're starting from. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now on the Behringer X32, you already have, with the default scene, if you pull it up, so if you initialize your console or if you just take it right out of the box, you have reverb already set up on your X32. And it's hidden. If you hit the effects button, you will notice that on effects 1, there's a vintage room, which is a room reverb. It just basically sounds like a room. You also have a hall reverb on effects 2, which is sounding like a reverb hall. So it's a slightly different sound than a room. On effects 3, we have a stereo delay. Now a delay is going to be repeats. So if you say echo, 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 those echoes are basically set in time. And that's why this light is flashing. Additionally, this one is flashing because those are speed-based effects and you can actually tap the tempo of those things. So if we wanted to have that stereo delay have a faster delay time of those repeats, we would just simply tap faster. Or if you wanted to have a slower delay time, we'd tap slower. But this video is all about the reverb and how to get that set up. But you can use the same application that I'm teaching you today to get audio going to the other effects racks of effects racks 2, 3, and 4. But today we're just going to be focusing on effects rack 1, which already has our vintage room. So how do we get this thing set up? Well, the Behringer X32 has our mix buses. So we can go ahead and either hit bus master down here on our 16 faders, or we can go and select through our bus masters on the right-hand side. We have 4 effects sends already built in to the default show file. So if we go look at mix bus 13, 14, 15, and 16, you'll notice that this says effects 1 send, effects 2 send, effects 3 send, and effects 4 send. These are all your sends to your effects. Now, the way that reverb works is that we want to have our vocal microphone, and we want to send our vocal microphone to the reverb. And what's going to happen is once we send it to mix bus 13, it is going to send into our vintage room. And I can see that because this is selected on bus 13. If you had this wanting to be set up on bus 1, all we would have to do is go and select bus 1 and then bus 1. And then our send would then change to mix bus 1. But in this case, I want to leave it on 13 for both of these. So the next thing that's going to happen is the audio is going to come from this microphone, go into mix bus 13, and then it's going to go into this effects rack. And the reverb output is going to fall into a different layer on the board. That's going to be our aux in and FX returns. Or if you have a smaller version of the console, it's just going to be on the effects returns. And that's where these effects returns are. So we can see that effects rack 1 left and right is right here, and they're a joint fader because this is a stereo return. So if we send our vocal microphone into our effects, it's going to go into this effect, and then it's going to come back out on this fader right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this microphone that I have on vocal 1, and I'm going to send this to our mix bus 13. So I can do that in a number of different ways. I can either use my bus sends tab and then go select 13 through 16 and just simply turn it up here. Or I can go ahead and select my channel and go sends on fader, and I can turn it up here. So I'm going to turn this up to 0. Now, these effects sends are set up in a way that's called post fader, which means that any volume that I'm changing in my mix on front of house is going to change the volume that's going to this effects send, which is the way we want it to be. For a monitor, on a stage monitor, we would want that to be pre-fader because any volume changes for the front of house that we make, we wouldn't want that to affect the send of that floor monitor. But with the effects, I'm wanting my mix between my, say, 3 vocals. If I had them like this and I had vocal 1 a lot louder than the other 2, I'm wanting that mix to be applied to the way that it's being sent to the effect. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my effects returns and I'm going to mute these real fast. So we can see that we can have my vocal microphone, check, 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 and we can see it and hear it, and we can also see that it's going to my effects one send. But because this is post fader, if I go ahead and turn this down, it's not going to be going to my effects one send, which is great. So I'm going to put this back up to 0. Now, we can see that this is going. Now, one thing that I've seen some people do is by accident, they turn all of these mix bus sends down to 0. That's a bad thing to do because now we're not going to have any of our effect from this microphone going through to this verb. So we can actually see that I have this up. We can see that I have signal here, but it's not actually going to this vintage room. And that's because this master fader is turned down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back up to 0 on all of these effect sends. And so we can see that I have volume going into this reverb. Now, the reverb return, the effects return, is on our effects return layer. And so we can see that we have some volume here, and I'm just going to now unmute, and now I have a lot of reverb on this vocal. And so if I was wanting to just change the amount of reverb going to this vocal, I can just go ahead and either turn it up or turn it down. So this is the reverb for all of the microphones that are being sent to this reverb. So if I was wanting to have more reverb, I just go ahead and turn it up. If I wanted to have less, I just turn it down. And that's as simple as it is for getting our vocal microphone to our reverb. So if you were wanting to have more microphones going to this, all you would have to do is go select your next channel and turn it up into our effects one send. And like I was saying earlier, you can duplicate this for the rest of those effects racks. So if you were wanting to get your vocal one sending to your tap delay on effects 3, then we would just go ahead and select our vocal 1, hit sends on fader, go ahead and turn it up into effects 3, turn off sends on fader, and now we can see that I have a delay. Hey. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you do happen to have any questions, feel free to post in the comment section below. Also, if you have an idea of a video that you would like me to make for you, please post that in the comment section below, as I'm always looking through those comments for more videos to make that are going to be helpful for you. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel or check out my website at drewbrashler.com. Thank you so much.